Would you like to introduce ourselves?
Sure. Okay.
You go first.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Melissa with MCreativeJ. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube at MCreativeJ, and on TikTok at Melissa at MCreativeJ.
Hi, I'm Sara. I run Bear and Bean, which is a embroidery, embroidering your pets, embroidering wild animals. You can find me on socials at by Bear Bean on basically everything.
Perfect. Well, we wanted to get together today and just chat and craft. I'm going to be working on this fun sampler that I'm playing around with. It has some botanical designs, and it was inspired by the cyanotype kit I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
But this one will be like, kind of have like stick and stitch patterns that you can mix and match with it.
Nice.
So I thought that would
That'd be fun.
Fun to try out and test.
Yeah, and cyanotypes are so fun to make and do. So I feel like you can't go wrong. And I have a cold, that's why I sound like this. I don't normally sound this husky. But I'm working on a sloth illustration. I'm embroidering it. It will be a mini kit that you can get for free if you go to UCU, or you can buy it in my shop eventually.
Perfect. And tell us about UCU.
It's Urban Craft Uprising. It's in Seattle. The December show is the first weekend of December, and it's just a bunch of like handmade items from people all around the area. And my first time doing it, so it should be a lot of fun. A lot of people too. It's near the Seattle Center, so a really good location.
Yeah, it's a great holiday show. I've done it the past couple years, and this year I'll be at the Monster booth with some of my kids. So
yeah,
so exciting that you'll be there too.
Yeah, we can give each other breaks for coffee or whatever.
Oh yeah,
in the bathroom.
Oh yes. Well, the good thing about the UCU show is they have volunteers that can kind of help run around, but the holidays do get a little chaotic.
Chaotic, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
it'll be fun. I am looking forward to that. And then I'm doing the Makers Art Market at Alki Beach in early November. So
fun.
I've got that coming up next.
Cool. Yeah, in November I'm doing the Seattle Renegade show.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't done Renegade in a really long time, so it'll be nice to kind of be back and do that. It's always weird though when you have like shows that are before December, because I feel like people aren't quite ready to holiday shop yet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are, and they're super prepared. I am mentally not one of those people, but as a small business, I have to be one of those people.
I am trying to get better. My family now does it used to be you just kind of like made your list, and now there's a lot more structure to it. Mm-hmm. We do this thing called something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And you have to fill out a spreadsheet with an idea or like links to products or whatever well ahead of time. So like the deadline is like before like the end of November, and sooner is always better. So I feel like last year we did it and it was really great because it also had a dollar amount that you could spend. And so that just made it a lot easier, and if you already know what you need to get going in, I feel like I would be prepared to go to those shows in like November and kind of like know what I'm looking for.
That is nice. And do your family members get like one person, or does everybody?
So the way we divide it up is it's per family. So it's like my parents and my brother, and they have a kid. And so Simon, my nephew, doesn't have a gift limit. He can get whatever he wants. But the adults are basically buying 2 gifts per person. Okay. So, that could be something out of the reading category and something out of the, wearing category for my mom, for instance. So everyone will spend, the same amount on each person, and each person will get 2 gifts from like one family.
Oh, that is nice.
So it worked out really well last year, and so we're doing it again. It did just make it a lot easier.
Well, then you also know you're going to get something you want, because I feel like gift shopping can be kind of hard too. Like, you might know somebody really well and be able to get them something that you think they're going to love, or you might end up with somebody you don't quite know as well and then aren't sure what they're going to want, and then, I don't know. I feel like it always would be sad if a gift went to waste.
Yeah, and it was helpful last year, because you don't see my brother and sister-in-law every day, so I certainly don't know what you know, what they're like doing on a daily basis. So gives you some like insight also into their lives, which was like, you know, kind of fun.
True.
But yeah, so I think that will leave me better prepared.
Nice.
A lot of times they do want very specific things, but
that makes sense. You know, people like certain brands or like stuff.
But last year my mom wanted a pair of slippers, and so she wasn't specific on like what they were or anything like that. So that gives you some room to like have some fun if you find that sort of thing fun or terrifying. Depends.
See, I'm one of those people that's when I like something specific, I want to get that thing and
Yes,
not like
I'm
something that's like
particular.
it.
Yeah.
So last time I got slippers, I like very specifically sent my husband the link to like the Uggs and was like, these are the ones I want that have the fuzzy insides.
Yeah. I have a pair of boba tea slippers, so I was very specific about those as well. But yeah, so.
Very fun. Are you going to be here for the holidays?
No, we go to my parents' house in Utah,
Nice.
so it will be very, shouldn't be too cold, so it's just a nice time. Last year everyone got COVID though, so it ended early, so I was actually here.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so hoping that doesn't repeat itself, but I'm worried I'm gonna get all the illnesses from markets and being around people.
Yeah, I will say the last couple years that I have done like lots of markets back to back, I've gotten something. I've gotten like a terrible cold, I've gotten bronchitis, I've gotten, oh God. Every year I get sick because you're just around so many people.
I know, that's and a mask can like help, but if you're in a sustained environment, I feel like, you know, there's only so much it can do.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yes, I did see a TikTok today about different ways to be healthy, like to avoid being ill. And one of them was to make sure when you brush your teeth, you're scraping your tongue.
Oh.
Because your tongue has a lot of bacteria on it.
I could see that.
Which I was told by a dentist. So that wasn't exactly news to me. But,
good reminder.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? You know, wash your hands whenever you get home, which I often forget to do. In addition to like changing your clothes can help, but washing your hands is much better.
I can see that.
And there were other ones, but I'm blanking on them. I saved it for later though.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw also a TikTok video. It's where I find like I get all my news these days.
Yeah, I had 3 hours of brain rot this morning because I just watched TikToks for that long.
But it was like an acupuncturist who was saying that when you start to feel like phlegmy in your throat or gross, you hold out your arm and you take your hand and you rub it up and down like this.
Oh.
And apparently this part is like connected to your lung. And
Oh,
it's supposed to
interesting.
help clear it out.
I'm going to do that later.
I actually have been doing it the past couple days just because I think the seasonal, like, it's really starting to feel more like fall here with like, kind of the fall weather. And I think the seasonal change is just throwing my body off a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I get that. Yes. I'll have to try that. It reminds me of that, like, gua sha, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Where you, like, can do different pressure points on your face. And I don't have the discipline to do it. That's the problem.
I don't either. I follow another artist who's been doing it for like, gosh, I think she's set herself to do like a 50-day challenge or something like that and then just kept going with it. But every time she posts photos, she's like, I can see a difference. And I'm like, I can't see a difference. But I'm also like not you and not like looking super close to your face.
Right.
You know?
I don't know if it really makes a difference. I mean, people do claim it does. So, but yeah, I think like if you're looking at yourself every day and watching for like tracking those changes, then maybe you do.
True.
But yeah, I just don't have the discipline for it.
I know. I feel like I need to get into like better general routines with stuff. Like now that I work from home and don't go into an office and like, I don't know, I feel like things have slipped a little bit.
Yeah, I love reading about habits and stuff like that. I feel like habit stacking is definitely like the most effective thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Where just like in the morning, for instance, before I start work, I wake up and I have to do my cat chores, But then once that's done, I've got this time that I would just be embroidering anyways, so it's a good way to like have it stack other things that I could be doing at my desk, for instance. So I'm kind of, I do that kind of stuff, and I find that kind of helpful.
That is helpful. I've been reading a lot of different like psychology tricks around like behaviors and changing your mindset.
Yes.
And
what are you reading?
So I'm not actually reading anything. I'm doing this thing called Noom.
Oh yeah,
which
Noom.
is like it's kind of like a diet app, but also
You've rebranded.
Yes, yeah, it's more about like the psychology of eating.
Yes.
And like to help you build better healthy habits.
Yes.
And I did it maybe like 2 years ago and enjoyed it, and then, you know, fell back into very bad habits because it was like the pandemic and, you know, all that stuff. So I made a commitment to myself that I was going to do better and started it back up again, and it's been helpful. I wouldn't say like I love it because I don't get to eat all the baked goods and sugary things that I really love that are not like the best thing for you, but it is mindful to remember that like those are treats and not everyday things.
Yeah, definitely. I've tried to like cut back on my like sugar and like sweet treats, and I found that just having a like ice cream sandwich at night is actually really helpful, because I think it's always like, I don't think if this is like what they talk about in Noom, but like it's like what does it represent to you? And so it's like a treat at the end of the day. Yeah, they with like, I feel like a lot of diets are like you can eat this and you can't eat that and stuff like that, and Noom does a better job about like being like you can eat anything you want, it's just in moderation, right?
And how you think about it, and like, you know, if you're hungry, eat things,
right?
But you know, there are better things to eat than other stuff. Like they recommend essentially things that are more filled with water, so you feel more like filled up faster.
Oh, like fruits?
Yeah, fruits and veggies, soups and things like that. So it's good. I definitely feel like I buy way more fruit now, but I also eat it all and really enjoy it.
Yeah. I love fruit.
I do too, and it's funny how, like, you know, when you fall into kind of bad habits, I realized that I really wasn't buying a whole lot of fruit. And when I started eating it again, I was like, oh, I really love this. And now I would rather have like grapes instead of crackers or something. Yeah,
I got into doing like, because on TikTok, that's where I get all my information. Well, you know, these dietitians pop up on my TikTok. They talk about like how when you are wanting a snack, but you want something like sweet, but you also want something savory, you could pair like an apple with popcorn, for instance, and like that satisfies a lot of things. So I've done that.
Yeah, I love like the crunch of food sometimes.
Right. Yes, that's like the sensation of it. Yeah, definitely.
So speaking of popcorn, I am super excited about the movie Popcorn when we do.
Oh yeah.
So
I know. Then maybe put some like M&Ms on it or something.
Ooh, I've never done that.
Oh yeah, I think that's like I don't know. I think it's like a French thing. I don't think it's a French thing, but like that's what they talked about in like I think a Babysitter's Club talked about that. Those books.
I never read the Babysitter's Club.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising to me. You seem like somebody who would have read the Babysitter's Club books.
No.
Oh, I read all of them. You could skip the first 2 chapters every time because they were literally the same. Or like maybe they weren't exactly the same, but like, or maybe it was the first chapter, but they were always introducing the sort of story of how they got together.
Oh, okay. So like then it really wouldn't matter like what order you read them and things like that.
I guess so,
like,
yeah.
The characters.
Right.
All right.
But yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, wow, you strike me as somebody who read the Babysitter's Club.
No.
Because if you liked American Girl dolls, for instance, then you might have enjoyed that.
Yeah, growing up, I read a lot of like fantasy books.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then now that I'm more of like in my adulthood.
Yeah, you do a lot of like crime, mysteries.
Yeah, I like mysteries, murder mysteries. I don't read a whole lot of true crime per se, but like not real crime I enjoy, and like spy novels. I love those. I really liked that book you recommended though, Q the Sun.
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite book I read this year.
Yeah, it was interesting to like learn about how basically like how reality TV came to be and like the different iterations before what we know it is as now.
Yeah, we've only like I think reality TV really that's got its name, but I like how the author broke it down into eras. There's like, you know, the audience participation era, which is like the dating game and, you know, candid camera and all of that stuff. And then it goes into like, you know, cops and things like that, like those kind of like pseudo documentary sort of.
Yeah.
And then kind of reality TV as we know it today.
Did you see that Anna Kendrick has a show called The Dating Game that's out?
No.
Sorry, it's not a show. It's a movie. It came out on Netflix.
Oh, is it about the killer, the dating game killer?
Yes.
Yeah, they talk about that in the book.
I know,
yeah.
Which I just thought was very serendipitous. I was like, I just read this book. And
there's a podcast about the dating game killer that I didn't listen to, but my parents did and really liked it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's like an infamous story.
I hadn't heard of it until I read Q the Sun.
Oh. Yeah, I had heard of it just because of that podcast, but I don't really know too much about it still. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I just like love reality TV though, so. But I like the critical eye that it turned towards, and it was also just interesting hearing about how these shows were developed, and yeah, how they sort of like revolutionized things, and like how The Office probably wouldn't look the way it did if it weren't for reality TV.
Yeah, it also made me realize that like some of the shows that I enjoy that are like cooking shows and like home reno shows, those are actually like iterations of reality TV.
Yeah.
You just don't think about it as that.
Yeah, totally.
So that was like...
Yeah, that sort of unscripted reality.
Yeah.
That's like what it's called a lot of times. But yeah. But you know, I'm like a huge Real Housewives fan, and I guess they did talk about Real Housewives in the book, so
yeah,
somewhat.
I was honestly surprised they didn't have more about them and like the Kardashians, because I felt like the Kardashians have made like a big imprint on what we know as reality TV right now.
Yes, I think they're like more of like that sort of sitcom, which is kind of like where they're talking about with like the Osmonds, or Osmonds, the Osbournes. Yeah. They talk about like how in terms of like, oh, it's like a sitcom sort of setup, or like Jessica Simpson, like Newlyweds. I think it falls into sort of that category. True. Having watched a lot of the Kardashians show, it's always like kind of resolved, whatever it is a lot of times resolved at their sort of the end.
Yeah, and I mean, like, those other two were first in that category. I just think the Kardashians is more well-known.
Yes,
probably for us millennials as well, too. Yeah.
I never watched, like, Meet the Osbournes, or I didn't really watch Newlyweds either, so.
I watched a little bit of it, not a ton. I definitely watched The Real World growing up, though.
I watched that, too. I loved that show.
Same, and like the sorority life one they did, that like I feel like it got a really bad rap because it made sorority life look terrible.
I watched that. It's been so long though. I can't remember it, but I remember watching it because it was on MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes,
I mean, it looked like, okay, so I was in a sorority in college.
Yes.
And I will say that, like, yes, we partied and had a lot of fun, but, like, you do a lot of other stuff with it and make a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And when I watched sorority life before I went off to, like, college, it was, like, a few years before, I was like, oh, that actually looks like really fun. And it was part of the reason why I wanted to join a sorority.
My school didn't have them, so it wasn't even, like, a consideration for me.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it when I went to college. I didn't like do formal rushing. Like, I feel like has gotten really big, especially on TikTok again, because you know, like all those southern schools have those like crazy rushes and dances and stuff.
Right.
It's very different in like a Washington State college.
Yes. Yeah, my brother was in a fraternity, which was surprising, but he joined the one that was sort of like a lot of the English majors, the theater people, so it was more, you know, I guess artsy folks in it, So.
Sorry, Henley's running over there. I think she heard your
My phone started to ring.
Yeah, your watch going off.
Yes. But yeah, we didn't have Greek life, and instead we had this giant Halloween party every year at school, and you could enter into the costume contest and walk down the stairs. And I distinctly remember one group of people dressed up as like Greek life as their costume and like came down the stairs like they were at like a frat party or something.
That's funny. Yeah, I will say, like, you in regular Greek life, you dress up a lot though, because
Yes.
we went to so many like theme parties and theme events, and then you have Greek week, which is where like the Greek houses do a whole lot of stuff together and different activities and competitions.
Yeah.
And like you dress up for stuff too. I mean, it was a big costume party. It was very fun.
I just didn't have any, because I went to art school, so they just didn't have anything like that. And the closest we would do is like our own costume parties, like house parties basically. But yeah, sometimes I wonder what it would be like to go to like a large university, because my school was only about 1,200 people, so it was about the size of my high school. But I sort of liked that size, because you had if you didn't know everyone, you at least had an idea of everyone, or if you had like a reputation or something. So I liked knowing the gossip and stuff.
Yes, I could see that. Yeah, my school was definitely very large, and I feel like I only knew small pockets of people. But like places can be insular like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say like I hung out with like mostly the graphic design crowd and illustration people, but you could definitely, like, the painting kids did their own thing and stuff, so, because you just spend time with like those people in your classes, and you have studio spaces with them and whatnot, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, once you get more into like your degree track, you tend to hang out with those people.
Yeah.
You have all of those classes together.
Yes, exactly. Although the first year in a lot of art schools is called like the foundation year, where you have to like take all of, like, you have to take a painting class, a drawing class, a sculpture class, a photography class. So you're just kind of like getting exposed to everything. And so that you're with a bunch of different people. So that is a good way to meet people before you all go off into your majors.
Yeah, that's kind of how like a more traditional colleges too. You have to basically do like prereqs and things like that. So it's like all those like very beginner classes that are like making sure you have the basic maths and sciences and stuff before you can dive into your major.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like I like got quite a few of those out of the way because I did running start in high school.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned that's like the.
It's essentially where you can take like college classes at the community college.
They had something like that where I grew up. It's called A+, the A+ program.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. But it's like because my middle sister is only a year and a half younger than me. So we were both essentially leading to like college 1 year after each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, college is hella expensive already. So I was able to get some of those prereqs out of the way. For free instead of having to pay for them at WCU.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Which nowadays I don't know how anybody pays for college. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like, especially going to like art school, I feel like our tuition was so crazy by the end. And yeah, how does anybody pay for anything these days?
I know, gosh.
But yeah, Chris's husband, his mom worked in higher ed for 25 years, so he got to go to college for free, so that's one way to do it.
Oh,
just have a parent that works in higher ed. Because it's through like a tuition exchange program.
That makes sense. That would be nice.
Yeah, it gives you like a head start not to have all that student debt when you finish.
Definitely. Gosh.
How's your embroidery coming?
Good. I finished up these like little branches with some blooms, and I'm doing this fern over here.
Nice.
So, how's your sloth going?
Pretty fast actually. Pretty basic. It's like, yeah, it's just doing some long and short stitches around. Some satin stitch, yeah. Filling around his face, and then I'll use just some like kind of bulky single stitches to finish up all the texture. So,
Fun.
So yeah, should be pretty easy though.
And do you get your felt from Benzie?
Yes.
It looks nice.
Thanks. It is really nice.
It's like some fun colors.
Yes, they have a really great selection, and I'm so particular about like the color and stuff that I get. I got some samples of some other felt from like bulk sites, and it just was not what I was wanting, and so I still order from Benzie.
Yeah, I have struggled with also finding like fun, good colors for felt. For like my embroidery kits, I buy felt by the bolt, as you can see over there. But it's just like regular crafts felt, and so it's like you don't need anything super nice because it's covering up the back of it.
Right, it's gonna be like against a wall.
Yeah, but it would be nice to like find some fun colors, so I'll have to check Benzie out.
Yeah, they have so many colors, and I feel like they've added more, and they have like palettes and stuff, and they have corresponding DMC floss to go with it. So they do a really good job of sort of like curating.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, I really love their stuff, and they actually ship super fast.
Oh,
so
that is nice.
You can get it like pretty quickly, and they're based out of Chicago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where they ship from. But apparently you can buy their stuff on Amazon too. But I always just buy it directly from their site.
That's kind of nice.
I think they're on Etsy as well.
Yeah. Well, usually when you buy directly from somebody, you can help them avoid those extra fees. For
Absolutely.
Being somewhere.
Yes. That's why I try to like buy from them directly from whenever possible.
That's very good of you.
But yeah, so I'll probably I usually order from them a couple of times a year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, next time you order, let me know, and I might see if I can tack on some colors. I've been thinking it'd be really fun to make some, like, felt holiday ornaments.
Yes, yeah. So. I love felt because it doesn't fray, and it's just, like, so durable.
Yeah, it's kind of a little more forgiving, too. Like,
yes.
You can't really see where you, like, bring your needle up and stuff in it, and...
Exactly, yes.
Whereas some fabrics are not as forgiving.
In my foundation year at Micah, I had to take this sculpture class that I was like extremely bad at, but the teacher, so all the classes are like sculpture or like color theory, but they're really shaped by the people who teach them.
Yeah.
So my color theory class was like taught by an architect, and so he had this like totally very sort of structured way of like teaching color theory, but this sculpture teacher was a fiber artist, and so she taught us how to we actually made felt.
Oh.
Like one class we had a felt making workshop. Super messy. I don't really want to do it again. It was because it's just you really have to agitate the wool, and it was like wet. It was a lot of like it was just really wet.
I could see that.
From what I remember. That was a really long time ago, but and yeah, you have to really, really agitate it to make it into something that looks nice and that you will work on.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I always love learning the process behind things. I feel like, as the end consumer, you don't always know how things are made and like the process that goes into it. And as somebody who makes things by hand, like, and then sells those handmade things, you're like, you always have to kind of like explain to people like what goes into handmade. So learning like how products you use are made or different things is always really interesting to me.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably find there's so many like great craft workshops in like the Pacific Northwest. I feel like you could find like a felt making workshop.
Yeah.
That would be fun for camp in that kitchen.
That would be.
Honestly, yeah, because I think we did it in like a kitchen type area. It was in the sculpture building at school, and the sculpture building had all sorts of spaces for you know, because it was like people welding, but also people doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Because there was no fiber arts degree, so if you wanted to do something like with like textiles, you had to do it through sculpture.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
So yeah, if they had classes, then they would have been there. So yeah, but you just need like a space, like a large space that you can like. I remember being very wet.
Did you have to like roll stuff out?
I think so, and you're
Okay.
just like using a comb because you're trying to agitate the fibers so they're like this.
So locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like when you're needle felting. You're taking like roving and you're just like poking it enough to where you can get them really tight fibers.
Yeah.
So I'll look into it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, that's kind of the fun thing about camp is we get to Camp Crafty, we get to research all the different people that teach in the area and find people that do things that I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And
Yeah.
I want to learn how to do this. Or like,
No, we got a broom maker this year. I'm like super excited for that because I want to make a broom.
I know Sara, her name's Sara Benson. She's going to do the broom class. And
Yeah.
she said she would be open to 2 workshops if
Great.
we want to do that.
Yes,
so.
I was thinking that would be fun because I don't know how many people she can have per class, but that way if more people wanted to take it, it would be available.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like that's the hard part about camp and like other events we go to. It's like sometimes there's only one class or you have to pick between like multiple classes at certain times and there's like multiple things you want to do. So picking is always hard.
Yeah. And it's like, well, do you pick something that you've like never tried before, or do you pick something that you've kind of done before and you just want to like learn a new sort of aspect of it? So there's like a lot that goes on too. I tend to like now I think do stuff where I do better because I'm not very quick on my feet if I take things where I have like some basis of knowledge.
Same.
Because I took that flame working class.
Oh, how's that going?
It's done.
Yeah.
I'm just not very good at it.
Well, you're learning something new.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
I had fun in the moment, but I feel like now I'm like, okay, I took it and I have that knowledge, but I don't need to do it again.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that like the sort of glass, I think I'm also like too afraid of fire, which I didn't realize. And you know, you were working on like an open flame.
Yeah.
So I think that I have like a low tolerance for how hot I want something to be near my hands.
Oh, I could see that.
I think I probably would have been better served doing a 1-day workshop than committing to like a 6-week thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it is really cool. Like the stuff you make can look really cool.
And you did that at the Pratt?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've done a letterpress there a long time ago.
Yeah, it was fun having a class to go to on like every Thursday night for 6 weeks. But I think if I do something again there, I'll do a printmaking class. I was kind of eyeing some ones they have, and I've done like a fair amount of printmaking, so I feel like, and that's something where I'm like, I don't have a press at home. I don't have the capabilities to do that.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of a treat for me to be able to do it.
I'm just getting to like work with the materials.
Yes. Yeah. Because I took a 1-day workshop there where I did woodblock, which I've done woodblock before. But I don't have the carving tools for it. I don't have like the stuff you need for it. So
Yeah.
it was just like nice to kind of have a day to do that. And then when we went to Portland at Wildcraft for Batik,
Oh, yeah.
that was fun too. Like, I had done that before, but it had been a really long time, and yeah, it was just like a fun day.
I know, and you get to work with like materials you're not quite familiar with, like those little like pens that have the little pots on them with the hot wax or the liquid wax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I had never used one of those before, and it was there was definitely a learning curve.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so I think those classes are so, like, tend to be, especially if you're just doing 1 day or 2 hours or whatever, there's so little time to learn the techniques that it's helpful to like go in so you're not totally, you know, like, oh, where do I even start, or like conceptualize this?
Yeah.
Because I have made that mistake sometimes, and it is not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always like that learning curve of getting up to speed and then like diving into the project
Right.
and really being able to enjoy it can be challenging.
Yeah, and doing it all in like, you know, we're trying to get as far as you can in a couple of hours.
Yeah. I'm on the same page with you. I like to have a little bit of knowledge first.
Yeah.
And then like feel like I can build on that to really make something exciting that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that sometimes like you take a class just to like, you know, get familiar with the process and like learn it. And then there's other people who are more like me that is like, if I'm going to take this class, it needs to be something I like want and might like use or enjoy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't just take a class to learn the process, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think our time is like so valuable, you know, like the amount of time, whatever, everyone has like the same 24 hours in a day, but everyone's busy, so it's like, I don't know. I find it hard to want to devote more time to something that like I had no knowledge about, or might not even like, you know.
Yeah.
Like the flame working class was like fun, but it was like I'm just like, I could have just done a 1-day class and been like gotten the sort of feel for it.
Yeah. Scratch that itch of interest.
Yes. Yes, but I think like if you do it, then if you like it, then it's awesome.
Then it would be worthwhile committing to that 6-week course.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, I think, but even in like, because I've done, you know, sewing workshops and stuff where I haven't known how to do anything in there, and that was horrible because I was the only one who didn't.
Aww.
And so everyone was so ahead of me.
Oh, was that your sun hat class?
Yes.
Aww.
That, you know, now I could do, but I just was so unprepared that it was like not fun for me because I felt just like so inadequate the whole time.
Aww.
Maybe that's on me though, you know, or that's my problem.
I mean, I think it's like a little bit of like mindset and also kind of like, you know, learning a new skill and maybe part of the like instructor too and helping you feel comfortable and confident with learning.
It was
something.
way too big of a workshop for that.
Yeah, I know when it's like more people in a class, it can always be challenging to make sure as the instructor you get to like touch base with everyone and make sure everyone's on the right page and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did encourage me to learn how to use my sewing machine better. And I've learned a lot more since then. So I feel like if I took that class again, I would actually know stuff. So.
Nice. Are you sewing anything right now with your machine?
I'm not, no. I'm prepping for like the markets and trying to like do a couple more things and then getting stuff ready for camp. I just like haven't had the time to sew, or haven't also had the like inclination to. I have patterns that I want to sew, but I don't have any. I just like I'm fine with putting it off for now.
That makes sense. I get that. I actually busted mine out like a day or two ago.
Oh, nice. For what?
I made myself a Halloween sweatshirt.
Nice.
So
what does it look like?
It's like hanging up in the bathroom. I'll show you later.
Okay.
Because it's like I put a little ghost on the front. I got a black sweatshirt and I crazy quilted some different like white pattern fabrics together.
Oh,
and
cute.
then cut it out in a ghost shape and then, like appliqued it to the front of the
cute.
sweatshirt. And then I embroidered Boo on the front by the ghost. And then on the back, kind of like the bottom hem, it says, I'm a ghost.
Oh, that's super cute. What inspired you to do that?
So Rosalie over at Monster designed and screen printed this really funny ghost sweater that has, I think it's like 9 different like ghosts on the front. And they all say like funny different things. One of them like looks like a potato. It's like, I'm a potato ghost.
Nice.
But they were all like super fun and funny, and I was kind of just feeling a Halloween sweater. So,
yeah, if you're teaching workshops at the time, perfect timing to like wear it.
So I thought it'd be fun, and I will say that, like, I used to dress up all the time for Halloween and do fun stuff. And we don't really do that anymore because, like, you know, we don't have kids, we have dogs.
Yeah.
And Henley, our little girl dog, she hates when people come to the door,
yes.
as you well know. So we can't really have, like, people coming to the door for, like, Halloween and things like that because she just is too reactive. So we just, like, that would be when I would, like, dress up or do something.
Yeah.
And because we don't do that, I just, like, put something out for the kids in the front yard, like a little goodie bag with a glow stick or something in it so they could find them. But otherwise, it's like, when would I dress up and wear something fun?
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
And I feel like we don't really do, like, Halloween parties or anything anymore because, again, we don't have kids, and, like, a lot of our adult friends do, so they're doing, like, a kid Halloween or something like that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like trick-or-treating happens earlier. Like, when I was a kid, I feel like we went trick-or-treating at, like, 9 p.m.
I know, that's how I remember it too.
Yeah, now, I think, I mean, it gets dark here early, so I get why, like, you might do it earlier, but we're making dinner when trick-or-treaters come.
Yeah. Yeah, I always remember it being, like, super late, and my dad would take me out, like, with me and my sisters, and I had this, like, giant pillowcase, and we would, like, some years when I was really young, like, fill it up multiple times.
Jeez.
I know.
You're like a good candy neighborhood.
We did. This was, like, before everyone had to have, like, pre-packaged foods and, like, was really into food safety, which I totally understand and get. But one of the neighbors used to make caramel apples, like, from scratch.
Wow.
And so you had to get there early enough to get them because she only made so many.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, that's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
But that was, like, the thing you always wanted to get every year.
Okay, yeah, none of my neighbors did that, so.
Yeah.
It was all, like, you know, regular candy.
I mean, I will say, like, my parents' neighborhood where they live, when I was growing up, I don't know if it's still the same, it was a lot of, like, doctors and engineers and things like that, so, like, they gave out good candies.
Yeah.
There were also some, like, very crazy Halloween decorations, like, intense. And I feel like this year, now that people are doing those, like, giant skeletons, like, some of the houses in my neighborhood are getting
I saw
on
the
that
picture
level.
you posted.
That one is so scary. Like, there are some, like, not so scary giant Halloween skeletons, and that one I sent you a photo of is just, like, that guy is so creepy. It's like this giant skeleton in a suit, and he's, like, holding another skeleton in a bag upside down, and he looks so demonic.
Really weird,
like, I'm scared of him during the daytime. I can't imagine what it would be like at night. Like, I just know.
When I was in Baltimore, there were a lot of those really tall skeletons that you get from, like, Home Depot or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so many of them. Which I feel like I don't, especially, like, in my neighborhood, where it's, like, you know, smaller lots, and some of them are, like, a little larger, but they don't have, like, as many yards. Or they're, like, you know, townhomes and stuff. I just, like, don't see that.
I get that. I mean, honestly, we have a good sized house, but like, not a whole lot of storage, I feel like. And I'm just wondering where these people are going to put these giant skeletons when they're done.
It's
and
a storage unit problem.
Yeah, or, like, are there, like, closets and basements just going to look like boneyards?
Yeah.
Like, or are these all year skeletons?
I think some people, I know that when I was in Baltimore, my friend and I drove by, like, a skeleton that she said is up pretty much all year.
Right.
But then in my neighborhood, I was driving around once, and I did see somebody had, like, Christmas stuff up all year, and it was, like, not a giant skeleton, but it was, like, it was a weird house. I'll say that. And I told my neighbors I saw it, and they knew exactly where I was talking about. So it's a known place.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're one of those neighbors that leave a holidays decorations up all year round, your house gets known for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Gosh.
Actually, I've made pretty good progress on this, and I haven't really been working on it that long.
Oh, nice. That is fun when something, like, speedily comes together.
Yes. It doesn't often happen with my projects by choice. Like, I love I don't know, I love like things that take a while, I guess. Or I don't know. I don't love it, but I just tend to always do it.
You enjoy the look, the finished look.
I do. I like really like the thing is I like detail, but I don't want to do like thread painting.
Yeah, I could see that. Thread painting is a lot of work.
Yes, but I like having intricate drawings to start with.
Makes sense. Yeah, for this pattern, I'm just trying to stick with some more beginner-friendly stitches, so not trying to do anything too crazy with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on adding a few beginner kits, like phase out some of the ones I have and add in a few more, and this is one of those.
Nice.
So,
I mean, you can do so much with just like a few stitches that you know.
true. Yeah, that's kind of what I love about the versatility of embroidery. Like, there are hundreds of stitches that you can do and love, but you don't have to do, you can do as many as you want.
Yeah. It's just whatever's in your sort of collection of stitch knowledge.
Yeah, and also like what you enjoy, because I mean, I would say like I know how to do a lot of stitches. I don't like all of them.
Yeah.
Because some are like a little finicky or annoying.
Right, and they don't, it's like you don't need them to like create the image you're trying to create necessarily.
Yeah. Or sometimes you can like use a different stitch in its place, or like cheat and combine some stitches together to make it look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I'm more of like a textural stitcher, so I choose stitches based on like the like shape and texture they're gonna make for like sections. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I will do this stitch just because I really want that there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
For me, I'm always like, because I start out, I do like all digital drawings, and then I turn those into like embroidery patterns. So for me, it's all about like what stitches will fill in this image, basically, that I've created.
yeah, I think it's always interesting to hear about the process, because like for me, I'll usually look at like a photo of something and then try to like match the color to like the idea of the photo I want and like the texture of whatever that like plant or something is. So it's a little bit different process.
Yeah, I think it just, everyone has like this sort of way they approach things. And I think for me, being like training as an illustrator, where it's about like, where I'm like very focused on like the image and what the like image I created like in my iPad looks like, that the embroidery is like the way I want to express sort of like the sketch that I did. So I'm just like, how can I make this look like my digital drawing in a way? Or
That
like,
makes sense.
so.
Yeah, I feel like right now, because I'm working on a lot of those like 3D embroideries that like it's mostly like a vision in my head, and then when I sketch it out, it does not look how I want, but it gives me like the rough idea of how I would build it together.
Yeah, like the technical sort of.
Yeah, because I will say like the math of things is not like, I'm not the strongest at, so like I wouldn't be like, okay, this thing needs to be like 3 inches here and 2 inches here, and then when you fold it together it like fits right. I eyeball it and then try to like put it together, and then when it turns out I'm like, yes, that is the shape I wanted. This is what I want.
So are you supposed to be like doing more exact measurement? I don't know. I've never made like 3D embroidery. So you're supposed to, how exact do you have to be, or is it forgiving?
It can be kind of forgiving. I would say that a lot, because there are like a lot of plants and things, it's like I'll give you the like pattern outline, and because like it's based on the pattern, I'll know it'll fit together, because that's how I built mine.
Yeah.
It's not as like mathy or geometric as like quilting per se.
Yeah. Totally.
But if you were gonna like resize things or stuff, then it might be more of an issue.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it feels very different because it's not left in the hoop, you know, and it's like you then have to like, you know, fold sides together and sew those together and then attach like something else in there. So it's a different process that sometimes takes my brain a little while to like wrap around.
Yeah. Well, it sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm working on the last project, which is the Carnivorous Terrarium right now.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so, and it feels a little more crafty, because like with this book I'm doing beads and like wire, and like there is some felt and things in there. But just like the way it all comes together just feels different than embroidery per se.
Yeah.
So
it's like a good use of your skills, because you've got skills beyond like embroidery, you know.
Yeah, well, I feel like
And
that's
interests
kind of
that
like,
go beyond that.
yeah, like growing up, my mom always had us doing all kinds of fiber arts. Like she taught us quilting and bobbin lace, and like in high school I got to sew and design my own garments.
Sorry, I have to turn this camera off. I think it's too hot.
Oh no!
I think that's what that little symbol is. Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm gonna just turn. Yes, it feels very hot.
Oh.
Okay.
Now we know. Oh, because we're at almost like an hour,
I know.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, that's
That went
okay.
really fast.
I know. Well, we can wrap it up.
Yeah. That was so. Wow. Yes, it's very hot.
I know.
Yeah. I'm glad it told me.
I know too. Good thing you paid attention. Gosh.
Oh, I was like looking at it and I was like, I've never seen that before. Because I will do at max like 4 minutes of filming.
Oh, yeah. When you use the camera like that, it makes more sense.
Well, also it's like, because I chop them up and it's like going through 4 minutes of footage to find like 10 seconds at the more like 3 seconds is like, that's just insane.
Oh, yeah.
That's so much like to review.
It is, yeah. Video editing as a whole.
I really like it though.
I do too.
I really enjoy it. Yeah, I've gotten really into it, and just like love the sort of the whole process. So, yeah, I love like the voiceover stuff. I love like getting to do more, like, yeah, just through doing Premiere Pro. Like I really tried to learn that this last year, and it's been very fruitful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't do Premiere Pro. I have like an app on my phone. I think it's literally called like Video Shop or something like that.
You don't have, like, I feel like for socials you don't have to.
True. Yeah, if you're doing videos that are like living other places, I think it's better to have like a professional editing software, whereas like this, I can easily like chop stuff up and keep it all on my phone, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, next time we'll have to figure out a name for this thing.
Yeah.
But
it was actually fun. It was fun, yeah. Chit-chatting, yapping.
I know. So here's how far I got. I got some plants done over here, and I still have these flowers and some branches to do over here and the rest of my fern, but then I'll wash away this and we'll see the cyanotype look of my stitching.
Yes, it's hard to tell, but I actually made it like, so I was trying to really fill in this space. This will be the longest part, and I'm almost half done.
Oh yeah, you made good progress on this.
Yeah, and then I just have these to do, but that will be really quick because that's like a stitch.
Yeah, they're like some big seed stitches.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll finish this up tonight, and then I have a couple of others I want to do samples for that I can bring to Craft Cinema.
Ooh, fun. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what I'm bringing to Craft Cinema, because I feel like I am very good at completing a project right before I need to take a project somewhere.
You are like
especially when we like fly on the airplane.
You're notorious.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Bye.